Hi, everybody. Welcome to our weekly immigration summary. Today is Friday, March 25th. Today, I'll be talking to you about express entry updates and also some provincial updates from Quebec, British Columbia, Ontario, Manitoba, and Alberta. First up, express entry. So there has not been a draw this week, which is fully anticipated because we had one last week. But very interestingly, our minister has alluded to the fact that immigration will hope to resume express entry draws for those under federal skilled worker, Canadian experience class, and hopefully federal skilled trades class sometime in the spring. Okay, so we're coming towards the end of March, so hopefully we'll be looking at April or May. Hopefully there will be some draws that start to happen. The most recent data shows actually that between in the first 2 weeks of March, actually, immigration processed 4,000 federal skilled worker applicants, okay, which is more than that was processed within a 7-month period of 2021. And Canada's already admitted more federal skilled worker immigrants than it did in the whole of last year. Okay, so right now there's about 10,400 Canadian experience class applicants ready to be or left to be processed. So that was as of March 15th. So in 42 days, immigration was able to process almost 5,000 CEC applicants. So at this rate, immigration are hoping to reduce the current backlog this spring. Okay, so fingers crossed, everyone, that's going to happen. And then sooner rather than later, we're going to start getting draws again for those who have applied and are eligible under the federal skilled worker, Canadian experience class, and federal skilled trades class. Okay, moving on to Quebec, they did have a draw on March 10th. Now, Quebec doesn't always release their information right away, so that's why we're only having this information now. So Immigration Quebec invited 500 individuals to submit an application for permanent selection. Okay, so this is just to get the Certificat de Sélection de Québec, which would then allow the person to apply for permanent residency. So these invitations were for people who whose occupation appeared on the list, okay, or they had they had a score equal to or higher than 577 points, or they had a valid job offer outside the territory of Montreal. Okay, so outside the Montreal metropolitan community. Now, with regards to Ukrainians, Quebec did bring in some new measures. So they've confirmed that there are going to be certain measures in place to help those that arrive from Ukraine. So there's going to be an arrival kiosk at the airport, okay, which will have members of Immigration Quebec to inform arrivals of available help. There's going to be some government services such as temporary housing and aid in helping people find housing, financial assistance perhaps, and education for children up from preschool to secondary school age. Okay, there's also going to be dedicated phone lines for those who, in Ukraine or those who are looking to help people from Ukraine so that they can be called directly. With regards to BC PNP, there has been a temporary pause in entrepreneur immigration. Okay, temporary pause does not affect individuals who have already been invited to apply or have already submitted an application. With regards to the draw that they just had, BC PNP has added veterinarians, so that's NOC 3114, and animal health technologists and veterinary tech, so that's NOC 3213, to their list of priority occupations. In Ontario, on March 24th, yesterday, OINP issued 471 targeted notifications of interest to potential candidates who qualify under Ontario's express entry skilled trade stream. Okay, applicants needed to have a CRS score of between 350 and 600. With regards to Manitoba, they have a special immigration measure for Ukrainians. And so there was a second draw that happened. So 16 letters of advice to apply were issued to those whose expressions of interests met the following criteria. The person had to be a citizen of Ukraine, and they had to have a minimum of CLB4 in each language band, have an established connection to Manitoba. Okay, so that's important. Have a valid language test, obviously because they have to show the benchmark, and still had to score at least 60 points according to the MPNP assessment criteria. With regards to Alberta, they are also prioritizing applications for Ukrainians. So there are now temporary processing measures in place for the Alberta Advantage Immigration Program, okay, formerly known as AINP, but now they're the AAIP. So this following temporary processing measures apply to Ukrainians, so by birth and by citizenship. So these applications are being priority processed. Okay, application fees are going to be reimbursed to all candidates and nominees who apply to the program or who make a request for services on or after February 24th. So that's great. And new candidates must continue, however, to still have valid language tests and, if applicable, an ECA, an educational credential assessment. Okay. If they don't have these documents, they can still submit an incomplete application. Okay, because if they can't get the documents, obviously due to the conflicts. So candidates who do submit an incomplete application must still upload a written explanation to the portal that explains why they cannot get them, and provide evidence that they have attempted to request the documents, or provide evidence that the issuing body is not currently issuing documents. Okay. There are no changes, however, to the criteria. Okay, so Ukrainian nationals must still continue to meet program criteria to qualify for the program and be issued a nomination. Okay, everyone, so that's our weekly roundup, and so hopefully that'll help you just have an idea of what's happening in Immigration Canada today. Obviously, you know, there are still many measures in place for those coming from Ukraine. So we went through those last week, but again, there's a very facilitated process for those applying for work permits and for visitor visas to come to Canada. So please take advantage of those. The process is quite simple. Fees have been waived by the government. So, you know, if you can, please help those who do need to come over, who would like to come over to Canada. We'll keep you posted on any updates and any changes. And again, fingers crossed that there will be some changes with express entry draws in the near future. Okay, thanks everybody. Have a great weekend. Don't forget to like our YouTube channel, to subscribe to our YouTube channel, and of course to follow us on all the usual social media, Facebook, Twitter, LinkedIn, and Instagram. Take care, everyone. Bye-bye.